I finished my scarf yesterday, and this was one of those projects that I just I didn't really have a pattern, I just did it. And it was also one of those projects where um, it was almost done, and I was like, I don't know about this, I had like a few more rows to go, and I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was going to turn out okay. And so, but I was like, okay, I know I feel right now that maybe this isn't turning out. I almost frogged this. I almost like undid the whole thing. Okay. A little bit the same kind of energy that I had with my latch hook, when I was doing that, and feeling like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if it's going to turn out. And then I just pushed through, and I did it, and I finished it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it actually worked, and you can see it behind me, this latch hook pillow. Yeah, so like, I don't know, I keep repeating that kind of pattern in my life, where I started a project that I haven't done before, or maybe I've done it before, but not in that particular way, or it's basically like a new experience. I start a new experience of something, and then get partway through, or even almost, I don't know, somewhere in the process, something clicks on and goes, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work out. And I almost abandoned the project. And then, but these last couple times, and I've done this before too. It's not the first time I've followed through on something, and it turns out better than I expected, and I'm surprised, and I'm like, oh, and I should be very familiar with that feeling of feeling like things aren't going to work out, and then they do work out, and they work out better than I thought, and then and then I'm like, oh, I'm glad I did that, and like, I make a mental note, like, hey, just because you think something's not going to work out doesn't mean that it won't. And a lot of times it works out better than you thought. And I try to make mental notes of that so that I can reflect on those later. But sometimes I just get stuck in that pattern again, like where I learned that lesson all over again. And I don't know, do you guys experience this too? Where I just keep having to learn this lesson, and maybe it's not a complete lesson. Maybe it's just like little different, I don't know, maybe I have to repeat the process a few more times to like really solidify that, and to really like finally get it. Like, hey, just because you have these thoughts of something's not going to work out does not mean that that's the truth. That maybe that's just my ego like going, yeah, nah, it's not gonna work. You should just abandon this. You should, be safe, and like, don't do it because it's not worth your time, or it's just not gonna end up the way you want it to. And that's another thing, like abandoning things because of the expectation of outcome. Like, you have a specific thing in mind that you want to see happen, but oftentimes things don't go according to the vision that we have in our minds, of what the outcome is going to be. And so when you can kind of let go of the outcome and just get into the process of something, and not worry about the perfect image in your head of how you want something to turn out, then you can enjoy the process, right? You can enjoy doing what you're doing, and then you may even be surprised at the end where everything is like way better than you expected it to be. And so I think that's how life is a lot of the time. We just project, or we feel like, oh, feel defeated, feel like things aren't working out, and we're not going to get the outcome we want. But most of the time, we are going to get better than what we thought we wanted. So just trust the process, trust that everything is working out. So, and you try to learn these lessons, and let yourself enjoy the process, and don't get so caught up in what is the outcome going to be. Is this perfect? No, it's not perfect. And guess what? Perfection is not the goal. Okay? And I want to talk more about perfection, but probably not in this video. All right, well, I hope you have a good day.